Hey, what up guys, it's Mairo Vergara here once again with one more video for you. By the way, 100% in English. As I announced in my last video, from now on all my videos are going to be in English only, and of course I'm going to provide you with some nice subtitles both in Portuguese and in English. In this video, I think this is a very interesting topic to begin, the year. I'm going to talk about goals and I'm going to talk about what you should be doing as far as your language learning journey for 2018, and I'm going to split the video between beginners, intermediate students and advanced students. So I'm going to give you some nice advice based on your current level in English. So let's start with the beginners. What should be your goals for 2018 if you are a beginner, if you're just starting to learn English? And the thing is, if you are just in the beginning, you just know the basic stuff. You know maybe how to introduce yourself. My name is Mairo, I'm from Brazil, I'm 34 years old. Just the very basic stuff, but you really want to learn English, for serious. You just want to go past that super very beginner level and you want to learn the language, okay? So what you gotta be doing, what you should do, your first step should be learn how to learn. What I mean by learn how to learn. If you go to the internet, if you go to Google, if you go to YouTube, there are a lot of different methods for learning the language. Nowadays, if you spend like a couple hours doing some research, you're gonna find 25 different methods for learning English. 25 just random number, okay? Just a lot of different methods and approaches to learn foreign language, and you're gonna get confused because different approaches, you don't know what approach to take. So what you should do is learn what methods are effective and what methods are not so effective, because every method is gonna work to some extent. So if you just take like regular English lessons centered around grammar, you're gonna learn a little bit, okay? It's not like grammar is the devil, it's not so effective. So your first step as you begin your language learning journey is to be able to differentiate between good methods or effective methods and not so effective methods. I know it's gonna sound like I'm trying to sell you, but I'm not. It's just the best advice for you. I'm gonna provide you a link here down below in the description of the video, or up here if you're watching on Facebook, a link for you to download my ebook, which is called Como Aprender Inglês, o Guia Definitivo. And this ebook is just like a 100-page ebook. You can read it in just one sitting. This ebook is gonna teach you the core, the foundation, the basics of how you learn a language. So you're gonna learn how to learn the language effectively. That should be your first step. If you learn how to learn, so you download the ebook, you read it, and make sure you read the ebook, because a lot of people, what they do is they download the ebook or they buy a book or any kind of material and they just buy it or download it, but they don't go through it, they don't read it. So make sure you read the ebook, you learn how to learn, and then you will know what is the step number 2, what are the steps number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, because maybe you're going to think to yourself, okay Mairo, but tell me step number 2. I don't want to know how to learn. Tell me step number 2, step number 3. Once you learn how to learn, you're going to know step number 2 and step number 3 and step number 4, so I don't need to tell you. If you are a super beginner, just don't think, click the link down below or up here depending on where you're watching, download the ebook, read the ebook, and you are good to go. If you are intermediate, and intermediate means you have a good grasp of the language, you know a little bit. It's not like you just know how to introduce yourself. You can read a little bit, you can understand a little bit, maybe you can talk a little bit, but a lot of students, they get stuck in the intermediate level. They've been studying for years and years and years, and they can't go past the infamous intermediate level, and they don't know what to do. They take conversation lessons, grammar lessons, whatever lessons, and they never are able to make to that advanced level. So now just listen, because this is so important. When you are intermediate student, what most intermediate students will tell me, they say something along the lines of, Mairo, I understand the language. I don't have problems understanding, or I don't have problems reading, but my speaking skills are not on par. I need to work on my speaking skills. And the thing is, if you are intermediate, it's not that you are not able to speak. It's more that you don't understand enough. I'm gonna tell you again. You don't understand enough. So you understand a little bit. Maybe if you watch a video on YouTube, not a video like this where, you know, I'm a non-native speaker, so it's going to be naturally easier to understand what I'm saying. But if you watch like a TED Talk, or if you try to read a book like this, if you try to read like a book like this, the biography of Steve Jobs, for intermediate students, it's going to be super, super, super hard. So you're just, you know, you're good, but you're not super good. Most important, you don't understand enough. Your listening comprehension level is not enough. Your reading level is not enough. And because it's not enough, you don't have the foundation on which to build upon, on which to really make the jump from the intermediate level to the advanced level. So now you're asking me, okay, Mairo, but what should I be doing? What you should do is expose yourself to the language. You gotta spend at least 1 hour a day or watching stuff in English or reading, I don't know, books in English, but minimum 1 hour a day. Try to go for 1.5, 2, 3 hours a day. You gotta expose yourself to the language every freaking day throughout the whole year, so that if now, let's say you watch a video on YouTube in English, you know, made by native speakers for native speakers, and you understand 70%, you know, and you think, no, I'm good, I need to practice my speaking. No, you don't need to practice your speaking. What you need to do is just keep watching the videos, just keep learning, expose yourself as much as humanly possible to the language, and then by the end of the year, you're going to be understand 95%, 96%. See, you see what I'm saying? Increase your ability to understand the language from 70, 80, 9% to 97, 98%, 99%. And that should be your goal for 2018 as an intermediate student. I like to think about the news in English. Like if you turn on the news, like CNN news about politics. If you watch news about politics, they're talking about, I don't know, Donald Trump and complicated stuff. If you don't understand 99%, you are intermediate, and if you should work your way up to the level where you understand 99%. Now, if you're past that level, if you already are able to understand 99% of CNN news about politics and economics, you are advanced. Advanced, you understand everything. You can read any of those books without many problems. You can watch news about politics or any kind of complicated stuff without many problems. If you are advanced, what you should do is you should start working on your output, on your ability to speak the language at a super good level. Because when you understand everything, when you can read any of those books, when you can watch anything, watch stuff about, I don't know, biology or psychoanalysis, anything, you understand, you are able to communicate, because when you understand, you communicate. A lot of people say, no, I understand, but I'm not able to speak. Bullshit, that's intermediate. You don't understand enough, you should work on your understanding. But once you understand, you are advanced, and then you communicate, you are able to speak the language, but you wanna make the jump. You are here, you're fluent, but you want to become like super fluent in the language. What you should be doing, and listen, this is pretty good advice. You're gonna be doing, as an advanced student, three different activities. Let's go step by step. Number one is the same activity as the intermediate students. Just expose yourself to the language. I want you to watch a lot of stuff in English, a lot of videos, listen to a lot of podcasts, read a lot of books. If you're intermediate, you can stay with the stuff that you like. You read about things that you are interested in. You read about things that you really like. If you are advanced, try to read about more complicated topics. Try to read like Steve Jobs biography, okay? Or any other person, okay? But read biographies, they are pretty good. Try to read books such as, I don't know, let's get a nice book here, The Happiness Advantage. See, it's a pretty good book. The Happiness Advantage, okay? Like real books about subjects that normally you wouldn't talk about. You probably don't talk about, let's say, here, creating habits. Probably you don't talk much about creating habits and the science behind the, habit creation. So just try to read stuff, complicated stuff, and try to talk about it. So the way you're gonna do it, you're gonna read complicated stuff or watch. You can watch videos as well. The goal should be to take you out of your comfort zone as an advanced student. Just don't watch like regular day-to-day conversations, because if you're advanced, you gotta go out of the comfort zone. If I talk just about language learning, it's easy for me, but try to get me talking about, I don't know, change the culture, like entrepreneurial culture. You should be reading and listening and talking about complicated stuff, because it will take you out of your comfort zone. And it's when you are out there, out of your comfort zone, that's when the learning happens. So you're gonna consume all this complicated stuff. That's activity number 1. Number 2, you're gonna take notes. Take a lot of notes. What I mean by that, when you see a word that you don't know, take note of the word. When you see an expression you don't, an idiom that you don't know, take note. Just take note, take note. You're reading a book and there's a word that you know the meaning, but you don't use it actively, or watching a video and you come across a word you don't know. Take a lot of notes, an expression, a phrasal verb, a lot of notes. Take notes, a lot of notes. You can use a notebook, your cell phone, a computer. Just take notes, use the dictionary, make sure you're doing a little bit of, I'm gonna say, research. It's like doing research on your notes. So you watch a lot of stuff, you read a lot of stuff, complicated stuff, you take notes and you study. You do some nice research about your notes, because that way you are studying in a more active way. It's not just consuming the language, it's consuming the language, actively taking notes, actively studying your notes. And then the most important of all the activities, activity number 3, you should be taking a lot of italki conversation lessons. That's the website, italki. Just go to the website, find a nice teacher. Of course, you have to pay for the lessons, but take as many lessons as you can afford. So if you can do once a week, just do once a week. If you can do twice a week, go for twice a week. If you can do like 3 times a week or every day, just do it. Conversation, a lot of conversation. But don't forget, you cannot skip activity 1 and activity number 2. 1, consume a lot of videos and read a lot. Number 2, take notes and study your notes. Number 3, conversation lessons, as many as possible. If you do those 3 activities, it's like a never-ending cycle, because like your input, reading and listening, will reinforce your notes will reinforce your conversation lessons, and the conversation lessons will reinforce your reading and listening. As I said, it's a never-ending cycle, and if you do that every week for like months and even years, you're gonna take your English from fluent to like super fluent, and that is my advice for advanced students. So guys, that was the video. I hope you liked it. Some nice advice for beginners, intermediates, and advanced students. It's 2018, as I was saying, the beginning of the year. Everyone is making promises. Everyone is, setting some nice goals. But English is so important nowadays. It's not like if you know English, you have an advantage. It's more along the lines of, if you don't know English, you're screwed. So make sure, regardless if you are a beginner or intermediate or advanced, that you are, chasing your goals and just, make it happen 2018. So that was the video. If you liked it, just make sure to thumbs up, like the video, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you all next video. Bye.